All right, now it is time to start the coding. And for getting into the coding, let's go on to our Raspberry Pi and let's begin with the coding. Hope you have got on your Raspberry Pi. You can start with the programming and you can write either a Python 2 or a Python 3 file. We recommend writing a Python 3 file because that has further scope in terms of support. But of course, Python 2 is also widely supported because of the use by many people all around. All right, let's go on to Python 3. Let's understand what exactly Python would be and how easy or simple it is for IoT. Now, why Python? Why Python? I guess the simplicity of Python. By the way, this is how you can write commands in Python. Now, in Python, as you can see over here, this is called as a shell, which is written here, the Python shell. Here you write a command, you get a response. So if I say 2 into 5, enter, you get a response. 5 into 9, you get a response. 9 divided by 5, you get 1.5. 8 plus 9, you get 17. So as you can see, this is a Python shell. Now comes the question, of course, I didn't answer that. Why Python? It is because of its simplicity for non-programmers too. So what Python says, focus on the problem that is before you, not on the syntax. He's saying focus on the problem, not on the syntax. Get into the depth of the problem. So syntax, I will make it very easy for you. You don't have to worry too much. So that's about Python. So you can use Python for basic calculations as shown here, or maybe you can do any simple operation directly in Python in this particular manner. All right. Now, the first concept that we need to see in Python is how to create variables in Python. Now, variables are very important. Why are variables important? They are used to store data which can be used later anywhere in the program. So you want to use them somewhere later, you can store them in a particular variable, or basically in other programming languages, or a variable in general is a container. Okay, but here in Python it's a little different. It's not a container, but it's a reference to a particular object. We'll come to that in some time. Okay, so this is about a variable. Now, a variable in Python, how can you define a variable in Python? It is as simple as this. Let's say I define a variable a with a value 2. I can print a. I can also say b is equal to 3.3. A variable can be of a different data type, like it can be floating data type, or it can be a floating number, decimal point number, or it can be a string which can be hi, I am a Python string. Now comes a question. There is even in Python, even single quote. It was generally a character in other programming languages. In Python, Python says, I am also a Python string, in single quotes. Right? So now, if I print C, if I print D, it's the same. Right? Both of them are strings as usual. Okay? So there is no character data type in Python. Okay? If you want to define a single character, again, you can define it with just this. All right. For now, we'll come to that a little later. You can also have something like E is equal to true and F is equal to false, both of them capital T and capital F. So E or F, you can define variables as true or false. You can have things like that, which can be a Boolean data type too. Now comes the question, all right, so this is about declaring variables. You don't have to have a data type before them. You need to assign them over here itself. All right. So you can have variables in Python. Okay, one more thing. As I said, this is about writing a comment in Python. This is a single line comment. If you want to write a multi-line comment, you need to write it with a triple quote. So triple quote, enter. Hi, this is a multi-line comment. Correct? Okay. So this is about Python, and this is about variables and command. This is about the basics of Python. And of course, we're going to use this. We're going to understand in more depth about what exactly are these variables and how do we use them and stuff like that. Now we can go to the help and we can go to the Python documentation. Okay, but going from here means you will enter into the browser here. You will enter into the browser, which will take you to the Python documentation. Opening the browser on the Raspberry Pi, it's fair enough, but if you can see the processing out here, the minute I open the browser, you can see the processing which takes up. It goes up by a few percentages. So it goes up to 28, and then it's going to 57%, 74%, which is a little tough. So you're going to have so much of percentages when you deal with the browser on the Raspberry Pi. Better than that is to deal with the browser which is there on your Windows anytime. So let's go on to the browser here on Windows or on your Ubuntu or any such system or your Mac over there, and you can just write there Python docs, Python documentation. So you have the 3.6.4 documentation over here. Let's go on to the library reference. In the library reference, we're going to see something called as the built-in functions. Here are a few built-in functions which you can use anytime to do a particular task for you. So these are functions and nothing but you can think of them as commands which can do a task for you when you call them whenever you want. Let's say we have a function here. I want to know what is the type of my variable. My variable is going to be integer, floating, or whatever. I want to know the type of my variable. I can get the type of my variable using a particular variable name called as type, as you can see here. So you have type out here, correct? You can use a function which I'm going to call this built-in functions as BIFs. BIFs, that's what I'm going to call them as. So I'm just opening this type. So type takes in an object and tells you the type of that particular object.